Welcome to Habitly Courses, a production of Manage to Win. Each course is divided into multiple lessons for easy viewing. All are now completely free, so you can watch them on your own or work through them as a team. Please subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, and share your favorite lessons with others. Try to find something that helps you be your best.
Hello, this is David Russell. I'm back. We're talking about business etiquette, and this is going to be fun. Fasten your seatbelts. We're going to talk about dining etiquette 101. I'm going to ask you 35 questions, but we're going to start, before I dive into those, with these. What is the most important consideration when dining? Is it the purpose of the event? Is it the location, the scheduling, checking out? So you turn off your cell phone so you pay attention to what's going on. No laptops. Is it avoiding interruptions? Is it courtesy? Which of these, more than one, are the most important consideration when dining? And the answer is all of the above. They're all important. Now, I'm going to walk you through 35 crucial dining skills if you want to act professionally. How many of these do you know? I hope you're in a group. It's going to give you some laughs. And if you got to do this individually, it's still some fun. You're going to be questioned on these in the exam, so pay attention. Let's have some fun. So number one, you're attending a business event. The question is, should you attend the event starving? And the answer is no. Hungry is okay. Starving is not. You don't want to show up and start wolfing down food anywhere you can find it. You need to eat in a controlled manner. This way you can focus more on the guests and the business objectives rather than the food. Number two, it is common to see people talking or texting on their cell phones while seated in a restaurant or coffee shop. The question is it okay for you to accept or initiate phone calls or text when you're dining for business? The answer is no, even if you're a millennial or very adept with your phone. Turn off the PDA or cell phone prior to sitting down at the table, or put it face down. Text only in emergencies. Excuse yourself if you get an emergency phone call to take. Now, you can sit down and say, I want to just let you know the only reason I'm leaving my phone on, and I am having it on vibrate only, is I've got a really urgent call that I'm expecting from X. That may be like I was on a phone earlier today. A guy just dropped his son off to have 4 wisdom teeth pulled. He may want to be aware of his phone. In most cases, though, no. You're going to turn it off or put it face down, not pay attention to it. Number 3, restaurants provide napkins for each guest. So the question is, where does the napkin belong, and when do you put it in place? And the answer is on your lap after people are seated. Place a napkin on your lap, if possible, slightly tucked into your pants or belt to help it remain in place. Not going to do much good if it falls down. You can put your napkin on your lap once everyone is seated. So you don't sit down, immediately grab the napkin, boom. You sit down, let people be seated, then put your napkin on. Now, if for whatever reason the structure of the table or the build of your body, putting on your lap is not going to do a lot of good, you can have the option of tucking it in underneath your collar, but that's pretty rare. That would be only just before you're going to eat like spaghetti that might splatter on your chest a little bit or something like that. Otherwise, it's going to almost always sit on your lap. Sometimes restaurants will provide a temporary bib that you would use only during the meal to protect against that type of thing. Number 4, you're eating a meal with a napkin on your lap. You need to leave the table for a moment. The question is, where do you leave your napkin when you get up from the table? And the answer is out of sight. So you place the napkin on the seat of your chair, not the table, or draped over the back of your chair or anywhere else, but typically it's on the seat. Number 5, you're at a business meal and notice there is more silverware at your place setting than you've ever seen before in your life. There's 3 forks. There's 2 spoons up above you. There's 2 knives. Where else this stuff come from? Anyway, question. How do you know which silverware to use for each stage of the meal? The answer, you work from the outside in. Silverware is arranged for you to use the piece farthest away from your plate first. And many servers at classy restaurants will remove unnecessary pieces of silverware as your meal progresses. Number 6, you're at a business meal and a server is inept, rude, and or performing poorly in some way. Question, what should you do? Answer, be kind and patient. So you want to demonstrate your poise under challenging circumstances. Be encouraging. You do not know the challenges that person is facing. You just don't know. I mean, I've heard of one person, he was at a restaurant getting poor service and later found out that the waitress had just had someone close to them die. So, I mean, that's distracting that person. You just don't know. In the end, your response to that person says more about you than the server. Now, if it's just totally out of control, you can excuse yourself and go talk to the manager if you want. But, try to work through it and don't participate in gossip about the person when you think they're not around, but they may hear you. Number 7, the prices of food on the menu are all over the map, and you're uncertain whether the way food is prepared, it'll taste good to you. So the question is, does the price and exact preparation of the food you order matter? And the answer is yes. If you're a guest, you don't want to order the most expensive item unless your host is ordering it first and encouraging you to do the same. So I was at a dinner with Dan King of K2 Technologies. He's a great guy, runs an awesome IT services company. And he took me to, I think it's called Big Fish in Orlando. I think that's the name of it. Incredible seafood restaurant. And he swore, you got to get the swordfish. Well, it's like almost $50. And for me, with Scottish blood, that's a lot of money. So I was hesitating, but he said, got to get it. And he was buying, so I got it. Boy, he was right. It was fantastic. But I couldn't order that unless he was ordering it himself or encouraging me to do that. If you're the host, the cost of your food sets the standard for other people. So even if you really don't feel like eating something that's moderately priced or high priced, at least get something that's moderately priced. Don't get the least expensive item because that could put pressure on other people who actually have some etiquette. And avoid asking for a lot of custom preparation for your food. If you saw the classic movie Harry Meets Sally, when she goes into a restaurant, she has all these particulars that she goes into. She does a great job. But don't do that. That's distracting. All right, number 8. Some people like to sit straight as a board, whereas others like to lean back in their chair. And what posture is best for business meetings? And the answer is you want to look engaged. So you sit up straight, but you're not stiff. You're going to lean slightly forward. So your body language communicates you're engaged, you're involved in the conversation. Number 9, the meal is proceeding and you're interested in having a piece of bread, but there's only one piece left. Question is, should you take that last piece of bread? And the answer is no, don't take the last piece of bread. When your server returns to the table, ask them for more bread. And by the way, when you're eating the bread, eat it in small pieces that are lightly buttered. That's the best way to go about it. Number 10, alcohol is available at the restaurant you are dining, and it's a business meeting. The question is, should you order an alcoholic beverage? This is a business meeting. The answer is no. Alcohol lowers your discretion during the meeting. It's a depressant and affects your behavior. Typically will have you saying things you might not say if you were a little bit more in control. You don't have to be rude or judgmental, just politely decline. Focus on sincerely engaging others, and your lack of alcohol will protect you and maybe be an advantage. Yeah, I know people that can handle alcohol and they do great and seems to be, it doesn't really affect them. I know other people, they drink and it's not a positive thing. But in general, in a business environment, you want to be in control and, be intentional about what's happening. It's best to avoid the alcohol. It also will negatively affect you when you get back to the office. All right, number 11, the restaurant has a wide variety of food options. So the question is there any food that you should not order, that you should avoid? The answer is yes. Foods that stain, food that's difficult to eat, food that gets stuck in your teeth. Keep that in mind. Particularly as you get older, your teeth separate a little bit more stuff gets stuck in your teeth. Very distracting to be talking with someone who's got that piece of spinach in their teeth or they've got something else stuck in their teeth. Very distracting. Number 12, you tend to eat rather rapidly. Question, does the size of each bite matter? The answer is yes. Try to take small bites and not too quickly. I used to say I inhale my food. I gave up eating a long time ago. Not the right way to go. Sorry, I do learn things the hard way. And you only cut food as you go. Don't get a piece of, don't get a steak and cut it all up into little pieces. You got 40 pieces of steak ready to eat, and then you work through it. No, cut as you go. It's calmer. It's a rhythm, and it's more polite to the other people who are eating. It's not giving a message to them that they need to hurry. Number 13, you tend to chew your food and swallow rapidly. Question, does it really matter how you chew your food? The answer is, yes, it does. Key thing is chew with your mouth closed at all times and don't talk with food in your mouth. It's amazing to me how many people not only don't cover their mouth when they yawn, but they chew like this, with their mouth open. We used to call that seafood, S-E-E, second word food, instead of seafood like from the ocean, all right? So, do you like seafood? Blah, it's to show people as kids. Don't do that. Close your mouth when you eat. Number 14, sometimes the conversation seems to require you to speak when there's food in your mouth. So the question is it okay to talk with food in your mouth as long as you're careful not to display the food or spit? And the answer is no. Don't talk with food in your mouth. If somebody asks you a question or you want to participate, whatever, raise your index finger or nod, finish chewing, swallow, and then speak. By the way, added benefit, it gives you more time to organize your thoughts. But you don't want to take a chance on showing your food, spitting out some of your food. Gross. Not professional. Number 15, a meal involves drinking beverages and eating food. So the question is it okay to drink your beverage while simultaneously chewing your food? So you're chewing your food and you drink the beverage as you're chewing, chew some more, that type of thing. The answer is no. Swallow your food. Remember, you're taking smaller bites and then gently sip your beverage. Don't guzzle it. Number 16, part of your body posture when dining is our arms. So the question is, what is proper etiquette for our arms when dining? The answer is no part of your arms should be on the table. Do not put elbows on the table. It's best to keep your arms at your side while eating. I'll never forget, we were having a family dinner. Now, this was probably 50 years ago, literally. It's shocking to think about that. My grandfather was over for dinner, and I was sitting on his left. On his right was my older brother, who was 6 years older than me. So my brother had his elbows on the table and was eating. My grandfather poked his fork into my brother's elbow. Didn't say anything. My brother went, "Ow! What'd you do that for?" My grandfather didn't say anything, just kept eating. My brother foolishly put his elbows back on the table and started eating again. My grandfather stabbed him with the fork again. Ow! What did you do that for? My grandfather said, keep your elbows off the table. End of discussion. Now, I don't think that's going to happen to you in a business environment, but it might give you a visual of, hey, I better keep my elbows off the table. Question number 17, whether you are the host or a guest, you are looking forward to the meal. Question, after it has been served, when can you start eating your food? And the answer is, follow others. If you're the host, you wait for everyone to be served, and at least one guest has started eating. Now, the guests may be waiting for you to start eating, so nod for them to go ahead and start once everyone has been served. If you're a guest, you wait for everyone to be served, and you allow a lady or the host to start eating first. Number 18, you tend to eat quickly, possibly even at times almost inhaling your food. I mentioned this. Question, does it really matter if you finish your meal first? Answer, yes. Eat at a moderate speed so you do not finish your food way ahead of your guests or the host. It's okay to finish at the same time, but not 5, 10, 15 minutes before. Be careful on that. Disrespectful. Number 19, you need some salt or something else that's on the table, but it's not directly in front of you. It's within your reach. Question, is it okay for you to reach for what you need? It's not directly in front of you. You're going to have to stretch a little bit. Is that okay? The answer is no. Do not reach across people or the table to get something. Wait for a break in the conversation and then politely ask someone to pass it to you. There's no rush. We're in conversation. Number 20, the restaurant's a busy place. There's a lot going on. At times, people you know are arriving. So the question is it okay to glance around the room as conversation goes on at your table? And the answer is no. You focus your eyes on your guests and or hosts only. Glancing around the room indicates you believe there are better opportunities for interaction elsewhere. You might be bored or just not quite good enough for you. It's rude. Number 21, you notice the food someone else ordered for your business meeting looks delicious and you want a taste. Question is it okay to ask for a taste of someone else's food? The answer is no. You can compliment someone else's food choice, but asking for a taste is considered rude. And don't drool when you pay the compliment. And you never help yourself to food on someone else's plate. Do not hint or stare at someone's food to prompt an offer. If without prompting someone offers you a taste, no problem. That's all right. Number 22, you're in a meeting with some people for a meal to discuss business. Some of them know you well and others not as well or not at all. The question is, should you learn things about your host and guests before the dining meeting? Before you meet for the meal, should you research them a little bit? The answer is yes. Just do some simple online research and or check with others to understand the background of the guests. Consider their priorities before attending. And during the meal, you might ask them questions about their work, company, or personal interests. Pay attention and sincerely engage. You may say, I saw online or I saw on your Facebook page this, that, or the other thing. Now, that tells them you showed sincere interest in them. That's okay. Okay, in certain parts of Asia, burping during a meal is considered a compliment. In America, burping is becoming more common. The question is it okay to let out a burp during a business meal? And the answer is no. In America, typically North America, it's rude. Just because someone else is burping does not mean your burps will not offend that person. Remember, that other person may hold you to a higher standard than their own behavior. Next question, 24. Many families teach their children to eat everything on their plate at every meal. So the question is, should you be a member of the Clean Plate Club for business meals? And the answer is no. Leaving a small amount of food on your plate communicates that you had enough to eat. In some cultures, eating all of the food on your plate indicates they did not serve you enough food. Number 25, some people like to gesture with their hands while talking during a meal. So the question is it okay for you to gesture with your hands during a business meal? The answer is yes, but do not gesture with one or more utensils in your hands. You want to stab somebody with a fork or a knife? Not a good idea. And you should not point at people. But gesturing's fine. Next question. During some meals, you may feel inclined to give a toast. At other times, you may be the recipient of a toast. So the question is, what is the proper way to give or receive a toast? And the answer is, be prepared in advance. So if you're toasting someone else, you stand, you offer your toast, take a sip, and then sit down. If you're receiving a toast, you do not drink to yourself. At the conclusion of remarks, nod and smile your appreciation. If you're a guest who receives a toast, then make certain to toast the person back. You can be prepared. All right? That's best practice. Next question. Some people worry about what to say during business meals and are concerned whether people will be interested in them. The question, should you expect other people at a business meal to ask you questions? And the answer is no. My wife struggles with this. Personally, not so much in business, but we go out and she feels nobody asks her any questions and she has to bear the burden of asking all the questions. She's an introvert, so that can be more of a struggle and more of a perspective. But do not expect people to ask you any questions. And if you're asked a question, answer briefly yet completely, and then return the focus to their interest. Remember, this is a business environment. Remember dining skill number 22. Try to know a little bit about them before you arrive so you're prepared to engage in their favorite topic themselves. Everybody. It's their favorite topic, their favorite radio station, right? It's all about me type of thing. Keep it focused on me. That's it. Okay, number 28, who pays? There can be an issue of who pays for a business meal. The question is, should you just plan to pay for any business meal that you attend, or at least pay your portion of the meal? Well, according to my study of etiquette, the answer is it depends. Whoever invites people to the meal is responsible for payment, unless different expectations are set in advance. And don't let the arrival of the bill interrupt conversation. By the way, here's one tip you can do. If you're the host, then arrive at the restaurant a little bit early and give the maitre d' or server your credit card prior to their arrival, the arrival of your guests. And then they've already got it. It's covered. You're in charge. Number 29, there seems to be an ongoing debate about what is a fair amount to tip the people who serve you in a restaurant. So the question is, what is the proper amount to tip your servers? The answer is it depends. You should give a tip based on the quality of service, and that means anywhere from 0 for very bad service to a range of 15 to 20% for great service. If you order up front and the staff is simply delivering your food or cleaning up after you, then maybe 5 to 10% is thoughtful. Tip jars, maybe 5 to 10% for good service and or complicated orders. Also, by the way, keep in mind what's your company policy for tipping. You don't want to violate that. All right, number 30, you are the host and want to thank your guest for attending a business meeting. Or you're a guest who thanks the host for organizing the meeting and hopefully paying for it. The question is, should you express sincere gratitude, thanks, beyond a verbal thank you after the meal? And the answer is yes. A brief handwritten note is still the classiest way to express sincere gratitude. Texting or emailing A positive photo from the gathering is also a way to express thanks. Don't post photos from an online meeting without everyone's advance written consent, but you can email something to say thanks. Either way, something, emphasizing you appreciated the opportunity to get together is a great idea. Okay, we're in the final 5 questions here. Number 31, you're going to an important business meal at a restaurant that you have never visited previously. Question, what should you do? And the answer is prepare in advance. Confirm directions and expected travel time in advance, particularly that time of day. Will there be traffic or not? Consider their menu online, so plan your options in advance. Why get there and not have any idea what you're going to order? Check Yelp or another online service for recommendations. And by the way, keep this research to yourself so it's not perceived as being rude. Hopefully that's not your intention, but you don't want it perceived as being rude. Number 32, you're at a business lunch. Others are drinking alcohol, smoking marijuana, or enjoying another social drug, legal or illegal. They're inviting you to join them. Question, what should you do? The answer is politely decline. Any drug that makes you less alert when you return to the office is a bad idea. And you don't want to smell like anything inappropriate. So you can simply say no thank you, or if they're pressuring you, leave. Politely leave. My advice is that anyone participating in this type of activity is going to damage your career, so it's best to avoid them. Even if it's your boss, try to avoid those kind of meetings when you can and it's politically acceptable. But you got to be careful. You want to hang out with people who are role models for the behavior you want to demonstrate. All right, 3 more questions. Number 33, there are different settings for business meals. Question, what should you wear? What clothing? The answer is something appropriate. Ripped clothing or tight or revealing clothes are inappropriate. Dress conservatively in a manner that's consistent with the group and event, also consistent with your company standards, your policies. Casual dress is fine depending on the event. You can always check with someone to confirm. All right, number 34. Conversation at business events can extend into personal matters, politics, or religion. So the question is, what topics of conversation are appropriate? And the answer is, it varies. Business topics are best and the most safe. Limited personal information or discussion of politics and religion may be appropriate, but be very careful. That person who seems to share your spiritual faith may live it out very differently from you. Same thing with politics. That can get very heated. Most important is your ability to sincerely consider the other person's opinions without coming across as attacking them personally. And avoid all negative personal comments. So you may have someone that makes a comment about politics or a comment about their spiritual faith, something they're doing, and it totally disagrees with your beliefs. What we're doing in these business meals is about relationships, and we want to improve the relationship. So you have to make a decision, and oftentimes it's best to kind of sidestep. They say something you totally disagree, say, well, that's interesting. I haven't really looked into that, or I haven't seen that myself firsthand, whatever. You can try to sidestep it rather than engage, because they may be baiting you to engage. You want to be careful. Last but not least, everyone agrees before the meal to split the check. Someone else receives the bill and tells you what to give them as your share of the bill. The amount seems high. Question is, what should you do? The answer is, most of the time, just let it go. Unless the amount requested is way beyond your estimate, just pay it. If you're splitting the check, then be fair. If anything, pay a bit more than others if you're in charge of dividing who splits, who pays what. You know, sometimes like when I go to a meal, I don't drink alcohol. If other people are drinking alcohol, particularly if they're drinking a lot, and then they split the check down the middle, I'm paying a lot more than I should be paying. Or if I ordered something that was not very expensive or medium priced and they're ordering high priced meals. In a business environment, typically I let it go even if it's a big difference. That's their deal. This is 35 different tips on dining etiquette. And I hope you had fun with it. It is a great way to improve your business skills in environments where you're eating meals. This is lesson number 3 of business etiquette. I encourage you, bring scenarios into this, talk through it, have some fun, but learn and study this information so you can pass the exam. This is the conclusion of lesson 3. Bye for now.